Hello, hello. So I'm sitting here working at my desk. I was actually working on sunlight exposure, but it reminded me that I wanted to talk about vitamin D. So if you look on the winter phase little cheat sheet, I put on there hormone building time, and it's so important to build our hormones and help our body do exactly what it was meant to do, but it needs the building blocks. That's why I call it hormone building. And so I put on here support estrogen with vitamin B, D, and zinc. And the vitamin I want to talk about right now is vitamin D, because as I said, I was looking at sunlight exposure. And here's the thing, a lot of us are not getting the sunlight exposure we need, and we need sunlight to go into our skin so that we make vitamin D. Why is that important for hormone building? Well, I'm going to share a few things right now. We need vitamin D to help with making the cholesterol, which really vitamin D is a vitamin and a hormone. And with that cholesterol, it makes pregnenolone. And I walk through some of this process with you, but I want to bring up the fact that vitamin D does so much. And when it is low, y'all, it affects everything below it. So it helps us to have stronger and healthier bones. It helps us enhance our mood and our energy. So if you feel like your mood and energy is not where it's at, you might want to have your vitamin D tested. Helps release endorphins, that's the feel-good hormones, regulate body temperature. So if everybody else says it's hot and you're cold, or everyone says it's cold and you're hot, you might need to check your vitamin D. It helps with lowering blood pressure. So if your blood pressure is up, it could be that you don't have enough vitamin D. Helps repair DNA, enhances the skin barrier functions. That's for your immune system. So I tell you this because if you are wanting to balance your hormones and your vitamin D is not where it needs to be, it's not in an optimal place, it's going to be really hard to balance those hormones. So because it really is the foundation for hormonal balance. We don't want too much though, and we don't want to have too little. It's kind of like the Goldilocks theory, right? Like we want it to be just right. So here's the thing, vitamin D, your liver takes it to create cholesterol, like I said, for the human, for the hormone pregnenolone, not progesterone, that comes later, but pregnenolone. Here's the thing, if your liver is tired because mom is worn out, right? She's not going to do a very good job of creating the cholesterol for the vitamin D. And that, again, is important for making the estrogen, the good stuff, the testosterone, and the progesterone, all right? Here's another thing. Vitamin D deficiency is related to 20 types of cancer, all right, including breast cancer. So you want to make sure your vitamin D is where it's at so the other hormones below it can do what they need to do. Optimal levels, and I'm going to share with you inside, optimal levels of vitamin D decreases all cancers by 60%. So you want to make sure that it's optimal. Vitamin D protects against autoimmune disease. So if you have any type of autoimmune diseases, I want to ask, have you had your vitamin D checked? Cardiovascular disease, make sure vitamin D is where it needs to be. Here's another thing, when your vitamin D is low, insulin will be high. When vitamin D is low, cholesterol is going to be high because your body is trying to do everything it can to help support you through this process, and it just needs more vitamin D. Now, vitamin D needs good fats in your body to be able to be created and made, all right? So here's the thing, we go out in the sun and we burn, and that's a good chance that means that you're low in vitamin B and also that you're low in good fats. So you want to make sure that you have your extra virgin olive oil. You want to make sure you have coconut oil. You want to make sure you have avocado oil. You want to make sure you're getting nuts. When you get those good fats, yep, they sit around underneath that skin. The sunlight goes to it, it's attracted to it, but you tan, more likely to tan than burn. And it lets you process this vitamin D from a vitamin to a hormone. So if you find that you're getting burnt, make sure you're getting those healthy fats. Now, here's the thing. The best time for sun exposure to get that vitamin D is sunrise to the next 2 hours. So if the sun rises at 6:38, between 6:30 and 8:38, you want to be going out into that sun to really be bringing that in to increase your vitamin D, and it's a better chance of not getting burnt. And then 2 hours before sunset to sunset, that's the next time, all right? So if the sun is setting at 8 p.m., anywhere between 6 and 8, you want to get out there. Now, here's the trick. You don't want to have sunscreen on because it's going to block your production of that vitamin D. So make sure that you're doing it at a time that you don't have your sunblock on yet. Now, I just try and stay out of the sun between 12 and 3, so that way I don't have to worry about wearing the sunscreen. And if I do, I make sure I use a mineral sunscreen. But even mineral sunscreens are going to prevent you from producing that vitamin D that's so important for balancing our hormones. So here is the thing. Get at least 30 minutes of sunlight exposure a day. You can do that 10 minutes in the morning, 10 minutes in the evening, and the other 10 minutes can be kind of going in and out when you're getting in and out of the car, when you're going to check the mail, all that kind of stuff. Or you could get it 30 minutes in the morning, 30 minutes at night, but you really want to make sure that you are getting sunlight exposure. Now, yes, we can use supplements, but here's the thing. If you do not know that you are low in vitamin D, the last thing you want to do is put too much vitamin D in your body. So a couple of recommendations I have is, one, get tested. Two, if you aren't going to get tested, then during the winter phase, during those 9 days, that's when I want you to supplement with this vitamin D. And the rest of the time, do not, all right? Make sure you're getting out in the sunlight, because natural sunlight is going to help balance that vitamin D. You're not going to get too much of it that way. But when we start taking a supplement, y'all, we're kind of working with the body in a different way. And so we want to make sure that we're not getting too much. Now, having it tested is always a great idea. Medical is going to say anywhere between 30 and 100 is normal, and that you don't necessarily need to supplement. Y'all, we don't want to be normal, right? So functional is between 60 and 100. So if you are under 60, between 30 and 60, and the doctor doesn't say necessarily that it's low, I would definitely make sure you're getting sunlight exposure and look into vitamin D supplementation. And then optimal is between 70 and 100. So even if I was 60, I would want to make sure that I'm getting up there closer to 70 to the 100. We don't want to be over 100, because then it's going to be too much and that's going to cause its own issues. So if you are low, if you are under 30, for sure, you're going to want to supplement for a long period of time, like probably a year at least. But if you were closer to the 60 to the 70, then supplementing maybe for a shorter period of time just to get things up. So you can supplement with 15 to 20,000 IUs per day for at least a month. Okay, and then retest to see if that is working for you, because we don't want to continue taking a supplement that's not even doing anything for us. And then just kind of maintaining it with the 5,000 IU per day. And like I said, you may need to do this up for a year to really get your body in, but you want to test. Now, if you don't test, 7 to 9 days, once a month, or you can do it in, hey, if I didn't get out in the sun today, I'm going to take my vitamin D supplement, because we want to make sure we stay balanced. Hope that helps, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.